12 credit card mistakes quietly keeping you poor. The $5 coffee that costs more than $5. Ben buys a coffee on his way to work. $5. He taps his credit card and walks away. Nothing unusual about that. The next morning, he does it again. Then lunch, a subscription, a new pair of shoes, dinner with friends. None of these purchases feels expensive on its own. And that's exactly the problem. Because by the end of the month, Ben opens his credit card statement and sees a number he wasn't expecting. $2,847. He stares at it, then looks at his bank account. He can't pay the whole thing, so he makes the minimum payment. And just like that, something he bought weeks ago starts taking money from his future. Now, meet Alex. Alex also uses a credit card. He buys coffee with it, books flights with it, pays bills with it. Sometimes he even spends more on his card than Ben does. But while Ben's credit card is slowly making him poorer, Alex's card is actually helping him. Same financial tool, completely different result. And the difference has almost nothing to do with which credit card they own. It comes down to how they use it. Because a credit card isn't automatically good or bad. It's an amplifier. Used correctly, it can give you convenience, protection, rewards, and flexibility. Used incorrectly, it can quietly drain thousands of dollars from your life without you realizing it. And today, we're going through 12 credit card mistakes that quietly keep people poor. Some are obvious, but the most dangerous ones are the mistakes that don't feel like mistakes at all. And the final one might completely change how you think about your credit limit. Mistake 1. Treating your credit limit like money. Ben opens his banking app. Checking account, $1,200. Credit available, $5,000. And somewhere in his brain, those two numbers begin to merge. It feels like he has more money than he actually does. But Alex sees those numbers very differently. If Alex has $1,200 in cash, then as far as he's concerned, he has $1,200. The $5,000 credit limit is not part of his net worth. It isn't income. It isn't savings. And it definitely isn't an emergency fund. It's simply the maximum amount a bank is willing to lend him. That distinction sounds obvious, but psychologically, it's incredibly important. Because when your bank gives you a $10,000 credit limit, it doesn't mean you can afford to spend $10,000. It means they're willing to let you owe them $10,000. Those are two very different things. The moment you start treating available credit like available money, your lifestyle can quietly grow beyond what your actual income supports. And that's when the trap begins. Mistake 2. Only asking, can I afford the monthly payment? Ben wants a new laptop. It costs $2,400. That sounds expensive. But then he sees another number. Only $100 a month. Suddenly, it doesn't feel expensive anymore. $100? He can handle that. Then he finances a phone. $55 a month. A new TV. $80 a month. A furniture purchase. $120 a month. A few subscriptions. Another $70. Individually, none of these numbers feels terrifying. But together, something strange happens. Before Ben even receives his paycheck, hundreds of dollars already belong to the past. Alex asks a different question. Not, can I afford the monthly payment? He asks, what is the total cost, and would I still buy this if I had to pay for it today? Because small payments can hide large purchases. And when enough small payments stack together, your future income becomes committed before you've even earned it. Some financing offers can be useful. Some 0% promotions can even make financial sense when used carefully. But only if you understand the full cost, the terms, and exactly when the promotional period ends. The mistake isn't paying monthly. The mistake is using the monthly payment to convince yourself that something expensive is cheap. Mistake 3. Carrying a balance because you think it helps your credit. Ben heard something years ago. You should leave a little balance on your credit card. It helps your credit score. So he does. Every month, he could pay the card off, but he intentionally leaves a balance. And then the bank charges him interest. Here's the problem. You generally do not need to carry a balance and pay interest just to build a strong credit history. You can use your card, allow the statement to generate, and then pay the statement balance in full by the due date. That still demonstrates responsible credit use without unnecessarily paying interest. Alex understands something Ben doesn't. Paying interest is not a membership fee for having good credit. If you're paying interest when you don't need to, you're simply making the bank richer. Mistake 4. Making only the minimum payment. Ben's statement arrives. Balance, $4,000. Minimum payment, $95. He feels relieved. I only need to pay $95. But that's the wrong way to read the statement. The minimum payment isn't the amount the bank hopes you'll pay because it's good for you. It's the smallest amount they'll accept to keep the account current under the card's terms. And when you carry a balance, interest can continue working against you. Month after month after month, a purchase you made years ago can still be taking money from your paycheck today. Alex sees the minimum payment and almost ignores it. His target is the statement balance. Because he knows the longer expensive debt survives, the more future money it consumes. This is one of the biggest differences between people who use credit cards as a tool and people who become trapped by them. One controls the balance. The other lets the balance control them. Mistake 5. Spending more because you're earning rewards. Alex receives cash back. Ben sees this and thinks he's discovered free money. So Ben gets a rewards card too. And suddenly, every purchase comes with a justification. It's okay, I'm getting points. He spends $1,000 more than he otherwise would to earn a fraction of that back in rewards, and somehow feels like he won. But spending $100 you didn't need to spend to earn $2 back isn't a financial strategy. You still lost $98. Rewards only work when they reward spending you were already going to do. Groceries, bills, travel you already planned. Normal expenses that fit comfortably within your budget. Alex doesn't buy something because he'll get points. He gets points because he was going to buy it anyway. That's a small difference in thinking. But over decades, small differences in thinking create enormous differences in wealth. Mistake 6. Using credit cards to fund a lifestyle. Your income can't support. Ben gets a raise, so he upgrades his life. Better restaurants, more expensive clothes, weekend trips, a nicer phone, and when his income can't quite cover everything, the credit card fills the gap. At first it's temporary. I'll pay it off next month. But next month has its own expenses. Then the month after that. And slowly, Ben starts using future income to maintain his current lifestyle. That's one of the most dangerous things about credit cards. They can delay financial reality. Without credit, your bank account eventually tells you, you can't afford this. With credit, you can keep going. For a while, Alex uses credit differently. His credit card doesn't determine his lifestyle. His income and financial priorities do. The card is simply the payment method. If removing your credit cards would force you to dramatically change your lifestyle, that's a warning worth paying attention to. Mistake 7. Not knowing what you actually spend. Ben can tell you roughly what he earns every month, but ask him what he spends, he has no idea. Maybe $3,000, maybe $4,000, maybe more. Credit cards make spending frictionless. Tap, swipe, click, done. And when spending becomes invisible, overspending becomes easier. Alex checks his transactions. Not obsessively, but consistently. He knows roughly where his money is going. Because you can't improve what you refuse to look at. Here's a simple challenge. Open your last 3 credit card statements. Look at every purchase. And ask yourself, if I had to buy this again today, would I? You might be surprised by the answer. And I'm curious. What's one purchase you've made on a credit card that you later regretted? Tell me in the comments. I guarantee you're not the only person who's made it. Number 8. Using credit as your emergency fund. Ben's car breaks down. $1,800. He doesn't have $1,800, but he has a credit card. Problem solved. Except the emergency is over. And now Ben has a new monthly expense. Then another emergency happens. Dental work, a broken appliance, an unexpected trip, And because there was never any cash buffer, every emergency becomes debt. Credit can be useful in a genuine emergency when there are no better options. But a credit limit is not the same thing as an emergency fund. One belongs to you, the other belongs to the bank. Alex builds cash reserves specifically for the things life eventually throws at him. Because unexpected expenses aren't really unexpected. You might not know what will happen, but eventually, something will. Mistake 9. Ignoring interest because the purchase felt small. A $200 purchase doesn't feel dangerous. Neither does $300 or $500. But credit card debt rarely announces itself with one giant purchase. Often, it grows quietly. A dinner here, a repair there, a weekend away, a few online purchases. And eventually, Ben has thousands of dollars sitting on his card. Now, every month, part of his money disappears before it can build his future. That money could have gone towards savings, investments, a business, a home, or simply financial breathing room. Instead, it's paying for yesterday. This is why high-interest debt can be so destructive to wealth building. Compound growth is incredibly powerful when it's working for you, but it can be brutal when it's working against you. Mistake 10. Opening cards for bonuses without having a system. Alex uses credit card rewards strategically, so Ben tries to copy him. A new card offers a big welcome bonus. He applies. Then another card has airline miles. He applies again. Then another offers cashback. Soon, Ben has 5 cards, 5 due dates, different annual fees, different reward structures, different terms, and no real system. He misses a payment, forgets about an annual fee, and spends more than usual trying to hit a bonus requirement. The strategy wasn't necessarily the problem. The lack of control was. Advanced credit card strategies can be useful for people who are organized, financially stable, and paying their balances responsibly. But complexity is not the same thing as sophistication. Sometimes the smartest financial system is the one simple enough that you actually follow it. Mistake 11. Paying off your card and then immediately running it back up. Ben finally does it. After months of effort, his credit card balance reaches 0. He feels amazing. Then he looks at his available credit, $5,000. And something strange happens. The card feels empty again. A few months later, he's back where he started. This happens because paying off debt solves the balance. But it doesn't automatically solve the behavior that created the balance. If overspending was the problem, the spending system needs to change. If lifestyle inflation was the problem, the lifestyle needs to change. If emergencies created the debt, you need a cash buffer. If emotional spending created it, you need to understand the trigger. Debt repayment is powerful, but without changing the underlying habit, the same debt can come back wearing different clothes. Mistake 12. Thinking a high credit limit means you're richer. One day, Ben gets a notification. Congratulations, your credit limit has increased from $5,000 to $10,000. He feels richer, but nothing about his financial life has actually changed. His salary is the same. His savings are the same. His investments are the same. His net worth is the same. The only thing that changed is how much money the bank is willing to let him borrow. Alex gets the same notification and barely reacts because Alex understands the rule Ben has been missing this entire time. Access to money is not the same as owning money. A $20,000 credit limit doesn't make you $20,000 richer. A luxury car payment doesn't make you wealthy. Being approved for something doesn't mean you can afford it. And having the ability to spend money doesn't mean you should. Real wealth isn't measured by how much you can borrow. It's measured by what you actually own, what you keep, and how much freedom your money gives you. The real difference between Alex and Ben. At the beginning of this video, Alex and Ben were using the exact same financial tool, a credit card. But Ben asked, "How much can I spend?" Alex asked, "How can I make this tool work for me?" Ben used credit to buy things before he could afford them. Alex used credit to pay for things he could already afford. Ben chased rewards by spending more. Alex earned rewards on spending he was already doing. Ben treated available credit like money. Alex treated it like borrowed money. That's the real credit card trick. It isn't a secret card. It isn't a loophole. And it isn't some magical rewards program available only to rich people. It's simply this. Wealthy people tend to use credit as a tool for money they already control. People struggling with debt often use credit to access money they don't yet have. Same card, opposite direction. And if there's one idea you remember from this video, make it this. Your credit card should be a payment tool, not permission to live beyond what you can afford. If you're carrying credit card debt right now, don't try to fix everything overnight. Start by understanding the numbers. Know what you owe. Know what you're paying in interest. Stop adding new debt where you realistically can. And build a plan that moves you forward one decision at a time. Because becoming financially stronger usually isn't about finding one giant secret. It's about avoiding the small mistakes that quietly steal your money for years. If this is the kind of content that helps you think differently about money, subscribe to the channel. We're building a community of people who want to understand money, build wealth, and create more financial freedom. And if you want to know the 12 money habits quietly keeping you poor, watch the next video. Thanks for watching, and we genuinely appreciate your support.